Hello, everyone, and welcome to Poetry in Brief. Poetry in Brief, I'm Rachel Turney, and Poetry in Brief this month is being held with a friend press, Wild Roof Journal, run by Aure Lelito.
Hello, everybody. Glad to join you.
So Aaron and I kind of sat down and talked about, a theme. And then we also talked about who we might like to invite to read. This is an invited reading series. Of course, everybody's welcome to join to listen. And you can always reach out to me if you're interested in being on. And we came up with four really star poets that I'm so excited to have here today. But let's talk a little bit about Aaron. Aaron is the EIC and founder of Wild Roof Journal. He's an editor, an educator, and has a few books out. If We, Connections Through Creative Process, The Half Turn, that's out with Kelsey Books, and then Collected Writings, a chapbook. He also runs a popular podcast that you can check out that has the same name as his journal, Wild Roof Journal. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you. Yeah, and our most recent episode is with you as the guest, so you can listen to a conversation about some of your books that I guess have come out or are coming out or both. Yeah, so it's great to kind of connect with you via Wild Roof Journal and share some poems today. Listen to some poems and share some questions.
And Aaron will be helping me out because he doesn't get nervous because he does these podcast things all the time, but I still do, but he's an old pro. I'd like to talk about our readers, and this will be the order that they will read. Paul Short, Kristin Lueke, Jessica Aure Pratt, and Andi Myles. I'd like to start with just a moment about our theme, though. Our theme is While Abroad. And Aaron and I were talking about, travel and what that does for a writer. And so our question to you is, where do you draw inspiration from a physical place? So that's something I want to start with for everybody to give a moment to write and think about where does inspiration come from? An actual place that you visited, or maybe a place that's even in your daily life. And you can pop any of your ideas in the chat as well. In the chat, people are talking about a lot of inspiration from outdoor places, especially coastal areas and water, which I think is really interesting. A poet does love the water.
Yeah. And I didn't know there was a Loch Lomond in Vancouver Island because I know there's a Loch Lomond in Scotland.
Oh, is that what that means, Chandra? Is this Loch Lomond in Scotland, or is there
No,
a Loch Lomond in?
it says
Well, it's supposed
Vancouver
to be a
Island, but I
list
know
of
it.
two
Yeah,
separate
Oh, it's
places.
two separate
yeah.
places.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. You
Oh,
should have said Lochland and
I gotcha.
Vancouver Island.
My bad. Um, so yeah, Scotland and Vancouver Island.
Have I been to Loch Lomond? Oh, yeah, I've been there. Uh-huh. I'm checking in with my assistant.
You travel so much, it's probably easy to forget. Starting to lose count.
Yes, it's true. This theme was important to me because being a solo female traveler was a big part of my identity. I did recently get married and we travel together now, but being a independent woman traveling is really different, unique set of experiences and challenges you take on. Maybe I'll write a book about that one day. I want to introduce our first reader, Paul Short. I think everybody knows Paul. Paul has been on BBC Upload, been nominated for Forward Prize, Best of the Net, Pushcart nominations. He just released Unwhispered Legacy, a really great anthology that had a reading yesterday. It was so lovely to be there, and I see a couple other people who were there as well, like Sandra. He runs a popular blog, The Book Bag, and also a writing series right here, right now. Paul does so much for our community of writers, and I'm really excited to hear him read one of his works about inspiration of place while abroad. Over to you, Paul.
Thank you, Rachel. And today I am going to read a poem inspired by my honeymoon, which was spent in Corfu in Greece. And this is called An Odyssey. Candlelit amber flickering sun melts below silver leaf sea. I keep glancing at the stars that carried home Odysseus, burning brighter than Hecate's touch. Scents of coconut oil and aloe vera waft alongside sizzling souvlaki's and slow stafado. Cheddar is filtered by leaf rustle among the poplar trees and olive orchard. Serenity is this taverna. I rest in the valley of your eyes, Gaia soft, Atlas strong. Our smiles beacon flare the sky, mirror like Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. Rings immortalize our love as Aphrodite layers teardrops, and Zeus blesses us with a lightning wreath. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful, Paul. I really find a lot of connection to the love poems that you write. And, I wrote one after one of your love poems that I sent to you. So you have that.
Yeah, thank you. Not many people write after me, so it's a real honor that you actually did that. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So, Paul, Aaron and I have a couple of questions for you. My question is, where is the most inspiring place that you have traveled to?
That I have traveled to, the most inspiring place would probably be Corfu, where we visited for our honeymoon, and it's just a lovely island. It's so rich in history, and it's a beacon of recent Greek culture, role identity, as well as it features a lot in ancient Greece and it's been inhabited for over 3,000 years. So yeah,
I love that. I'm gonna have to add that to the list. Assistant, will you put that on our travel list? And Aaron has something he'd like to ask you as well.
Forgive me for that. My question was, what place have you traveled to that you can think of yourself living in?
definitely Copenhagen in Denmark. It's such a wonderful city. The culture is really quite similar to Northern England in terms of um, like more ethics and how to communicate with people, and basically everybody lets people get on to do what they want, but there is a sense of community. So definitely Copenhagen.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think that question is slightly different than most inspiring because it has that like middle ground aspect of like familiar enough to be able to mesh into the culture, but different enough to be appealing and novel. So thanks for that response.
Our next reader is Kristin Lueke, and Erin will introduce Kristin.
Yes, Kristin Lueke is author of the poetry chapbooks Indifferent Math from Dancing Girl Press, and Here I Show You a Human Heart. Her work, which has been nominated for a Pushcart, Best New Poets, and Best of the Net, has appeared in Sixth Finch, Wildness, Had, OK Donkey, Mizna, and elsewhere, including I'll add myself, Wild Roof Journal, in the last issue, issue number 33. I feel like that's going to be a little theme within our larger theme, which was from the spring of this year. So congrats on that as well. And then her website, theanimaleats.com. Kristin, you can take it away.
Thank you so much, Erin. Thank you, Rachel. And thank you, Paul, for such a beautiful reading. Thank you for leading us off this morning. I'm going to read a poem that was originally published in Epiphany in 2025, and it is about a trip abroad while picking plums, hungry, June 2017. Not forgiveness, but the rising fash. I was thinking of Palinka served in coffee cups. Reading aloud after midnight, we have gone through great rooms together, which thank God you'd never read because, did you know? Until then, neither had I. When I brought you 3 ripe plums, I still forget you cannot eat, but admire all the same. I thought we could eat them outside before the bathhouse, walking uphill both ways, disbelieving the length and strange of these days, our puzzle box years, gray rivers, your hair. How you open 2 bottles of beer off the hull of a rusted out communist ship. How impatient we are to be known by now. Angry with hunger from time to time. To know us like something sacred. Most days I get it wrong. You asked me to read it again, so I did. I could only carry so much, my carelessness, the credit cards, every name you don't retain, each death by bear, the tropes and tricks you hate to read, each room I recall I could have been closer, kinder, aware of the danger had I not been thanking the mountains for stone fruit, skin touch, choosing to live despite the daily horrors. Maybe proximity is more than enough. To be without plums, is more than enough. Tomorrow I will remember. Thank you.
I loved that because, oh, it was about more than plums, as it often is. So, Kristin, where's the most inspiring place you've traveled to?
It's never just about the plums. The most inspiring place I traveled to is, uh, Rachel, I haven't done a lot of solo travel as a woman, and the one place I did abroad was to Gotland in Sweden. It's a small island off the southeast coast of Sweden, where a friend of my husband's, his wife grew up out there, and just through a series of blessings, really, I got to go spend a week with her parents who still live on that island. And it was supposed to be my first ever like solo writing retreat. Like, I'm gonna go write so many fucking poems. I wrote none. But so many things happened in that week that I have just started to be able to write about. And this was in 2019. So like 7 full years of metabolizing, and I'm finally finding my way into it. So, it's nothing wasted. Gotland, Sweden. Get there if you can.
Oh, wow. Okay, no, I don't even know about there. Okay, Gotland,
Mhm.
Sweden.
Mhm.
That's funny because I was also going to ask you a nosy little question.
Let's go.
Um, You released your first book in 2013.
I did.
Is that right? But then you didn't release a second book until 2025. Is that right?
Yeah, I like just stopped writing poems for quite a while because I was like going to focus on my career, and then that like ground me into dust and I hated my life. And so 2020 came and it was like start doing things different, you must change your life type shit. Um and picked it back up, made a voice the intention at the beginning of 2020 I'm going to become a poet again. And just, foot on the gas ever since.
Yes, I love that. I think that's super relatable, especially for a lot of women authors who, take a step away and then come back to this later. Yeah, I
Thanks
love
for waiting for me, guys.
that. She's back. And Erin has a question for you also.
Yeah, thanks for the poem. And where is a place that you've traveled that you would see yourself living?
Cool question because I'm there right now. You know how I just said a second ago in 2020, I was like, change everything. My husband and I took a month. I'd never taken that much time off work in my life. I'd quit a job. Ariel's here. That is wonderful for my heart. Ariel was at that last job. Um, and yeah, spent since 5 weeks in Cerrillos, New Mexico. We just sort of kept circling around it and found an off-grid cabin to stay in for the month. And like on day 9, Kyle, who's also here, he had just sold a book, had a wad of cash burning a hole in his pocket. We're like, let's buy land. And then it took us 3 years after that to figure out how to actually move out here. But we got here in 2023 and just bought our house right here across the street from the Burro Race last May. So it's been just about a year, y'all. Cerrillos, New Mexico is my final answer.
Wow, you did it. You did it for real.
Thanks so much, guys.
Oh, that's awesome to land in your dream space. Yeah, I love that. Good for you. And I'll be excited to read your book when it arrives as well. Our next reader is Jessica Aure Pratt. Jessica writes about nature, ancestry, and also social issues. Best of the Net nom with writing with the poetry Lighthouse, and also with Wild Roof Journal, places we've shared. So I'll turn it over to you, Jessica.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm going to share a poem published in Sky Island recently called Am I Land or Legend? Kind of wrote this after making a bit of an ancestral pilgrimage to Norway. And there are a few lines in here from the Old Norse poem Hamaval. Okay, Am I Land or Legend? Walking down the west coast of Norway to visit the stubborn hills that made my forefathers, I am pulled into cold and silent shores. Grass and stone and scale snake in and out of sea glass like a memory, kept alive in the dark of winter in the light of a fire. Jormungandr twisting, writhing in the undulating light, pulled straight out of the water by ancestors who knew the land is a god with a temper, creating the world through 1,000 retellings. Words of praise will never perish, nor a noble name. The universe creating itself through 1,000 retellings, every iris a related galaxy. Cattle die, kinsmen die, all men are mortal. I watch the grass pulse like a flame in the sun and decide I am not the land or a myth it has made, but the tooth in the tail of the serpent, Ouroboros tightly coiled, god of holding on. And that's it.
Okay, I want to know more about this trip you took. This is something you arranged to Norway. Did you look up
Mhm.
your ancestors and like meet with some of them, or how did that work?
So I didn't meet with some of them. I actually thought at the time I didn't have any more over there anymore, but they were on the other side anyway. I went to a little village called Bjørkum, where at least one line of my family lived, like as far as it can go back in records. So yeah, kind of just went to the land where my ancestors lived for like 1,000 or more years. It ended up being this teeny tiny little village. I was really surprised by how small it was, I guess.
What a cool trip. Did you do that alone or with some other people from your family?
Went with my husband last year.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
amazing. Cool. Okay, now is that your most inspirational trip or is there somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that was a good one, especially because I feel like most places that I travel to, I get that sense of feeling small, like in an awe-inspiring way. And the interesting thing about going to this little village in Norway was I kind of feel like I got that opposite reaction. Like the world is so tiny. We're all so small, and like there weren't that many humans alive, a few thousand years ago. So it was kind of inspiring in a different way. Yeah.
I love that and think that's one of the real values of travel is to realize like how small you are and how many
Mhm.
others there are and that it's not all about you. Yeah,
Yep.
I love that. Great. Oh, and Aaron has a question for you as well.
Yeah, and for you, is there a place that you've traveled that you can see yourself living in?
Yeah, so I do love the redwoods. That is definitely the first place I traveled to where I felt so small. You go for the first time, you feel like you're in Jurassic Park. You've traveled back like millions of years, and it's just really awe-inspiring. Very expensive place to live over there. Maybe I'll make it someday, but I love the redwoods and the coastline. I always seem to be going to cold coastlines instead of warm beaches, but I love them.
Yeah, better visuals, maybe, better photo ops.
Yep.
And then where are you located now? I'm not sure. I
I'm
know.
in Utah. I'm in around Salt Lake City, so
Gotcha.
landlocked for
Thank-
now.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
She's got expensive taste, Norway and the redwoods. Good for you. Our final reader is Andi Myles, and Aaron will introduce Andi.
Andi Myles is a Washington, D.C. area science writer by day and poet in the between times. Her favorite space is the fine line between essay and poetry. She is author of the chapbook Fractured Symphony by Cathexis Northwest Press, and her work has appeared in Michigan Quarterly Review, Rattle, and Chestnut Review, among others. She has an essay collection titled God Haunting, forthcoming from Ohio State University Press, which is a new piece of info. So that's an exciting addition that we learned about today. So congrats on that, Andi. And I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Aaron. I think I've told you this before, but I've done nonfiction and science writing for a long time. And I recently started writing poetry, and my very first ever poem was published in Wild Roof in 2021. And so I kind of feel like Wild Roof made me a poet. At least, I could finally say like I have a published poem. So I appreciate you guys, Aaron especially. Um, this poem is a little bit different. It's looking from a little bit from the other side. I have an international move coming up in the next 6 weeks. I'm going to be moving to Poland, and so I've recently been thinking about abroad from the other side of it. And so this poem is a very, very new poem. It's written very recently. But I have a poet friend who says that a poem's not done until you read it aloud to other people. So here we go. How to find home. First, deconstruct your house. Stack floorboards and windows on the lawn. Take apart the dining table you built one autumn, so large you didn't realize once it was created it would never leave intact. Dismantle your fence. Free the spiders tucked between pickets. Till your garden. Pluck the tomato plants heavy with fruit, the blossoming pea shoots, fresh herbs you always meant to use. If this is the first time your world has changed without your consent, you may keep one thing. Leave the rest. The coffee table from your mother's house, the fridge with the unreliable ice maker, the love seat that cradled you as you comforted sick children so late into the night that you didn't trust your arms to stay strong. These are not your things. They belong to your once self, the one who will stay on this land, making ghost coffee and writing invisible words. Leave them for her. Sit by the mailbox and spin lists in your head of undone tasks you promised to finish, of people you never let in, of phrases that mean goodbye. When your new life arrives, slit it open with the tiny sword your father gifted you the 1 year he remembered your birthday. Watch this new life tumble, spill, stream down your forearms like dishwater from a sponge. Let its slick unknownness harden around you like a tree growing one more ring.
I really liked how you talked about things as like you can't let things hold you in place. I think that's a trap that so many of us fall into, right? And oh my gosh, Andi, we have so much in common because you were just telling me before we started that God Haunted is about kind of reclamation of the self through some religious trauma. And I have a book out about something similar. And I lived in Poland. Well, lived. I drank in Poland a lot on study abroad. So
Which city were you in?
Warsaw.
Okay.
Are you going to Krakow?
I wish. We're going to Gdansk, which
Okay,
is
yeah,
yeah.
that's nice. Yeah, that's a nice place. I
Yeah,
think Gdańsk is nice. Oh, wonderful. Okay, keep in touch.
I will. Absolutely.
Where's the most inspiring place you've visited?
I would have to say I grew up in Southern California and I grew up every year going camping in the Sierra Nevadas. And so I have a very special affinity for, the Sequoias, Kings Canyon. Um, just every time I go there, I feel really inspired. It's one of my favorite places in the world.
And then jumping off that, is there a place that you have traveled that you could see yourself living
Other than Poland,
in?
I would say maybe Istanbul. I really like Istanbul. I've been there, and it's beautiful, and there's a lot of history, and it's really cool. It's a really cool place to live.
Yeah, interesting.
Aaron is writing all of this down because Aaron said, well, okay, I'm putting words in his mouth a little bit, that he's going to really try to travel more. And this year he's going to take a big trip, aren't you, Aaron?
I feel like that's what you said, but I mean, maybe I was confused.
Oh, yes, that was a
Yeah,
suggestion that I gave you.
yeah, and I'm like notorious um, for not traveling that much. And, you know, I don't know if it is, maybe it's my ancestry going back thousands of years. Maybe that's my lineage just kind of stuck it out in one place, or financial reason. Who knows what the my motivations are. Um, but I do like reading about travel and listening to people's stories. Um, and it is just kind of that interesting perspective, like everybody has been saying, to get a sense of new scenery, new people, a new way of life. So, I appreciate it. And maybe one of these years I'll make a bigger trip than, maybe a small radius that I'm used to traveling. But yeah, any suggestions of where I should go? Um, I guess the redwoods, I've never been out there. Um, I would like to see that. The Southwest, I would like to see New Mexico.
Let's visit Kristin.
I would like to see um, I don't know. Yeah, maybe those are, I guess the Pacific Northwest is gets a lot of attention. So yeah, it's a AWP's in Chicago next year, maybe Midwest. Who
Come to
knows? Who knows?
AWP next year.
I'll be there. Great.
We'll have to get
Nice.
some coffee.
Okay, good. Good. Well, I'll meet up at AWP. I don't know how it works because it'll be my first one. So, some interesting things that came up was Jessica talking about kind of like this Norse mythology and kind of folk and tales, and that really connects really well with Chandra Grace Joner's book, Naked in Turkey, and also then Andi talked about that Istanbul connection of that being a great place to live. Immediately after this event on the hour, so about half an hour from now, we're running Three Women, Three Books, which is a book launch celebration for myself and for Chandra and for Amy Leslie Morgan. So if you can stay on, that's great. We're going to leave this platform open, or you can leave and come back to the exact same link as well. I want to say thank you so much to Paul, Kristin, Jessica, Andi, and to Aaron Lelito for helping me host this session of Poetry and Brief while abroad with Wild Roof Journal. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to turn off the recording